So today I'm broadcasting from a very mysterious location where the God particle was first created, along with antimatter and dark matter. Um, the lab or hardened facility is about a mile beneath my feet, and it's very vast. It's about 4 miles in circumference. Um, Behind me, actually, is old technology very similar to diglocki, which is be known as the bell, which was Nazi technology, which has probably at this point been long re-engineered and revamped and looked at and recreated for new purposes. And then over to my left, actually, is where the God particle itself was created. The laser meets over in that hexagonal device or structure over to my left. Beneath me now are contained the God particle, dark matter, and antimatter, and they're contained within a very hardened types of other things and nitrogen to constrain them. And the reason why I'm mentioning these things is because it goes along with my topic today, being the construct of good, and how good is contained by the boundaries of law. And that in itself is the crux of how good can only exist. For without the boundary of law, it would be annihilated. Because the crux of the end game of my whole philosophy, as you may know, is that all men are created evil, that mankind is inherently evil, and they are savages, and so on. And we have instilled the boundaries of law in order to constrain that evil. And in a sense, we exist within a civilized evil. A civilized evil with arbitrary justice, which is constrained by the Constitution in the United States. If you remove the boundaries of law, you will have unleashed a savage evil. Mankind would be, in a sense, barbaric and very inhumane to his fellow man. This inhumanity would show itself in great destruction. And these things that I've mentioned, such as the God particle, antimatter, and dark matter, could be utilized as a great weapon. Outside of this 4 mile perimeter are low yield atomic weapons that would wipe the surface of this area away in the event that an enemy would try to get inside of this area and facilitate some kind of terrorist nonsense or steal these great new founding particles and powers. And to support them, lower, you have heavily armed SWAT, heavily armed reserve troops, and so on. And this is all meant to bring peace and stability. But as we know, the Constitution states that it is for the protection of itself, in a sense that any enemy would be destroyed, foreign or domestic. And that is the truth here, because if someone were to try to get inside this facility, which is beneath my feet, maybe the top surface would be wiped out. I doubt the actual hardened base would be touched. It would be for them to find out. For I am no enemy of this new Illuminati and this new power which mankind is coming on to in its exponential growth towards satanic singularity, to merge with our machines and go out into the universe. conquer it. It's a vision that I have for humanity, and I think some of within the higher powers of our Illuminati government have as well. It was interesting when I was reading recently about United States law. They've passed a law that anyone who has any kind of contact with aliens would be arrested and can be held and detained indefinitely. So they'll banish you. So if you don't have the 3-day rule where they release you, they haven't charged you within 3 days, they let you go. I guess you don't get that rule if you supposedly interact with alien species of some kind. It's quite a harsh law if there are no aliens. So these contradictions are coming out, and it's weird, it's odd. Because even as Carl Sagan worshipped at the altar of science, he dabbled with it, but he even didn't go too far with beyond his atheism to state that there were extraterrestrials. He said the probability is great. Asimov, who is a great writer and a scientist, basically a reasoned philosopher, stated very similar things, that science fiction writers and things of that nature were scouts of the future, which is pretty much the case considering some of the technology that has been developed behind me has been that future and has come to the fore. Barbaric evil has done nothing for humanity but set it back. Good, it constrains that barbaric evil and it holds it in a pattern. Barbaric evil has no place within humanity anymore. Now, lawful evil, to embrace that power of lawful evil, is something else. That is more Mephistophelian, Luciferian concept that I embrace in all my writings, such as the Satanic paradigm and black magic is might. It's very interesting that humanity, as it is going right now, overpopulation leads to extinction, which is inevitable. We have illegal invasions and so on going on. Very similar to what happened in Rome, when in Caesar's time they were eventually overrun by the supposed populace, the masses. And that is probably what is going to happen to Earth unless we get off of this rock soon in a great scale. But I think that it is well underway for certain people, but not for all. Certain people will find a way off of this rock of high intellect. And most of the sheep, unfortunately, will probably be led to the slaughter. The strong do master the weak, and so on and so on. It's not racism that I'm discussing. I'm discussing the higher law of might, black magic might. And it is the way of humanity, but there is no humane in humanity. It is evil that rules humanity. And power dictates what's wrong or right. Just like I have stated in my previous arguments. And anyone in false altruism and so on that worships in a Jesus racket or conceptualized slave mentality usually are kicked aside. And it's not embracing any kind of political realm. This has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with an intellect of great power and great manifestation, leading humanity to its Luciferian enlightenment. It's the truth of all things on planet Terra Satana. It will be interesting over the next 20 years to see, as overpopulation leads to extinction, and things are overrun by the horde, what will occur? Maybe the God particle will play a role in that effort of containment. But that old technology over there is nothing compared to what's up there and what's going on underneath the earth, beneath my feet right now. In the construct of good, all things are evil. There is no good. There is only levels and layers to this evil. I'm not some evil intellect. I'm a philosopher with a background in quantum physics, a satanic idealist, more say. In a recent book I wrote in the Modern Aryan, I looked at Aryanism as a way to achieve the highest and best of what you are as a humanity, devoid of racial arguments or tedious other nonsense political realms and so on. Because humanity is so caught up in its idealism that we are all equal, and I believe in equality. And I think equality is a great thing, however, it doesn't function in a rooted power of significance. That being that the highest and best once achieved, it doesn't matter what color you are, or you're Asian or whatever, this is all nonsense. Humanity is not living up to its full potential, but some of us are. Luciferians are, the workers at this base are, and so on. We are living to our full potential. I guess you could say it's a cult of dark matter, a Luciferian consortium.